Hey guys, thanks for checking out another Broken Meeple review, and today we're taking a look at the very well hyped Villagers. Yes, now I never got a chance to play this last year at the Expo, and I never got a review copy of it, so I just ended up backing it on Kickstarter because it's, like I say, not an expensive game. We're already on to a pro for this already. But Villagers is a tableau building drafting game in a sense. You're building up a tableau of villagers, and each one has like income. It gets you more cards, allows you to build more cards, but essentially you're building up these production chains by linking certain villagers together. All of you will draft from a communal road, a row of villager cards, each one's belonging to different sets, and as you draft them, more come out of the deck, and it speeds the game up as well until eventually you score in two different ways, one for immediate gold and one for like end game scoring, like points for having multiples of symbols, etc. And of course, that's essentially it. You're drafting villagers, putting them into your own tableau, trying to make combos, trying to build up a kind of little engine, get like points for stuff. And at the end of the day, you want money, and of course, most victory points wins.
Of course!
Now, visually, it's got quite a nice stark look to it. I mean, the box doesn't look like, much, but I like this stark white background on boxes. It's very colourful with the villagers, and I do like that despite the fact that it's not the easiest one to necessarily store, everything comes nice and compact in here. Everything fits just. I've got this with the mini expansions in the Kickstarter, and on a quick note, the mini expansions, the Scoundrels I don't like at all. The Saints, they're okay. The Pioneers or whatever they're called, I would say not the biggest fan of them either. Developments are okay. They're a little bit of extra fun, but yeah, the mini expansions are not a massive deal. So if you didn't get those, don't worry, you're not missing out on much. But you can get your coins in here in a box. You can get the dividers. They give you dividers for the cards. And this is sleeved. I have sleeved everything but most of the mini expansions. But the mini expansions would still fit in here if I sleeved them. But everything there has been sleeved with a Sleeve King sleeve. So this is the 60% thickness, premium sleeves that they have. And it all fits. It's very compact. It's just a nice, pleasant looking box. I gotta give it props. They fought hard about the storage here. Aesthetics wise though, the artwork for the most part is kind of, it's that stark look again. White background, pastel crayon type, pictures. Faces look a little weird in places, but it's meant to look sort of semi-cartoony, but with a very pleasant graphic design that's easy to follow. I mean, I can tell exactly how much it, does it have a restriction, what set it's from, how many production chains can I make from it, how much gold it delivers. It's very clear, very concise, the iconography very intuitive. And on top of that, I like this little coin chest. Open it up. I love this. Wooden coins. Oh, yes. Now, granted, this might have been a Kickstarter add-on, but even the normal coins, when I saw it in prototype form, still look great. But I think most people have bought this with these little coin chests in there, and they are very nice. I will give it that. But aesthetically, very pleasing. Very good job on that front. So in terms of the gameplay though, with Villagers, it gave me a sort of feel a bit like Paper Tales, and this was a drafting game that I wasn't a fan of. It felt too short, I didn't feel like you could do enough with the cards, I didn't like the visual appeal of it, so I thought, is this going to be just like Paper Tales with some extra bits on it? No, it's pretty different from that, aside from the fact that this is quite short. You can get a game of Villagers done in 45 minutes without any trouble at all, less if you're playing with only about 2 players, so nice job there. But with this one, yeah, the drafting thing is what you've seen before. Here's a row of cards, you draft, you take, or whatever. That's no different. But the idea of this game is the combo building, the little engine building aspect of putting the villagers into your, village. And theme-wise, it's sort of there, but don't buy this thinking you're going to have a thematic village by the end of it. The only thing that's really thematic in this is the fact that where the production chains basically say, right, you need to have this character first, then you can get this character, then you can get this character, then you can get this character. They make thematic sense. The truffle farmer requires you to get the swine herd first. You need the pigs. The hare, a basic villager, is able to then become a bed maker. or a clothes maker. That's, I don't think they're in the game, but you know what I mean. And a miner will become a blacksmith, a lumberjack will become a shipwright, or a cooper, or a carpenter. They make thematic sense in terms of progression, but you're not seeing your village in action or anything like that. You're not seeing resources being produced in that. It's just a case of, here's the card, gets me income, go. It's more mechanical than it is thematic. But like I say, it's a short game. It doesn't have to be rich, dripping in theme. It's just nice that they actually considered it when they were coming up with these production chains, and that they don't all not make sense. But aside from that, the only extra little things that I can mention from a tactical perspective are the ability to unlock certain cards by either paying the bank or paying your own character or somebody else's character. The interaction in this game is sort of there, but not like crazy. I mean, yeah, drafting is semi-interactive. Oh, you took my card before me. We all know that. But with this, if you want a certain card and it has a padlock symbol on it, it will tell you which character needs to be paid in order for you to play it. So the Cooper might require you to pay the blacksmith or something. And if you've got the blacksmith, great, you put the money from the bank onto your card, you have more points for the end of the game. But if someone else has it and you don't, you have to pay that player out of your own pocket. So it's like, I'm giving them 2 victory points, but I really want this character down. So you've got this cool little aspect there where you're trying to not pay other players and preferably pay yourself. It's not a huge deal. You don't have to aim for that sort of as a path to victory, although you can. But it's a nice little extra consideration to make other than just simply drafting cards from sets. You've got some limits on how many you can build, how many you can draft, but it's pretty easy to max them out during the game, so it's not like you're going to be hurt for cards on a regular basis. I mean, the limit only goes up to 5 drafting and 5 building. I find that I get to at least 4 on each every single game, so it's not like it's difficult to get. The scoring itself, easy to do. You just simply look at the gold symbols on your cards, total it all up. The second phase you score. At the end, you simply total up the gold again and get the points for the silver instead, the ones that are based on end-game points. It's not a difficult game to learn, but there are 1 or 2 little fiddly elements in the rules where you kind of have to remember, oh yeah, wait a minute, when we draft, we got to put coins on these, and then take off the ones that don't have coins, and then when you buy a basic villager, you have to put your card in one of the stacks, but when you're refilling, you do it from the reserve. It's stuff like that. There's a few little niche little fiddly bits in there, but 1 or 2 plays, a couple of reads of the rule book, you'll get it down. It's not a difficult game. I wouldn't really call this gateway level though. I feel that there's a little bit too much going on it to make this a gateway game, but this makes a very good next step. Gateway plus. Once they're used to drafting from something a bit more simpler like, say, Sushi Go, if you don't fancy 7 Wonders, you could instead go for this, and this would be a decent alternative. All in all, it's a pretty solid game. In terms of negatives I have, 1, it's getting overhyped. Like crazy. I mean, this is a nice little engine builder, but replay value is a little bit questionable because, the characters just basically give you a gold value and link to other characters. That's pretty much all they do. And you will see pretty much the majority of them every single game. So you're not necessarily getting a lot of new stuff every time you play it. And eventually you'll just realise, well, yeah, the swineherd is basically just the hare, and this guy is just basically him. It's just a slight tweak on gold, and oh, this one just happens to give me a food symbol. It's not like the replay value is through the roof. However, you bring this out every now and again, it will last, and if they bring out expansions, I really wish they don't actually, because then where am I going to store it? Where were you on that one? But you do have a solo mode in here to play as well. And I like the solo mode in this. It's you basically go up against a countess. And if anything, I think the solo mode's better than the multiplayer in this.
This is why Superman works alone.
You have a countess that you go up against and you have to give her a character. Every time you take one, you have to give her one. But you choose. So you're like, oh, I don't want to give her that because the jeweler's given her 20 gold. I can't give her that. But then if I give her the priest, that means I can't give her brown cards for the rest of the game because she's just going to get more and more gold from that. And granted, she gets a random one each turn and brings out some events that hurt you, but all in all, it's a very good tactical solo mode. with the exception that her drawing from the deck does make it quite lucky and swingy at times. You know, she just might happen to draw a 20 gold, a 15 gold, and oh look, the other 20 gold in a row, and once that's done, you might as well resign the game, because there's no way you're going to beat her with that kind of a swing. You know, she doesn't have to bother with production chains. But it's nice that it's in the game. You know, I think it's a solid solo mode to complement the replay value for a decent multiplayer game as well. So, as I say, it's hard to say. I prefer to play this with less players as well, because it can drag on a bit with too many players, particularly if you've got that one person who APs.
I hit with him.
That's not necessarily a fault of the game. I don't think it generates a lot of AP, but I think mainly the replay value is the bit I'm a little bit concerned about here, because again, you're seeing the same characters over and over again. The solo mode is decent, but again, that swinginess of luck is a bit of a problem. But I like it aesthetically. I like the way it's stored. I like the fact that it's simple to learn. This will go nicely in a game cafe as a Gateway Plus game. It is a solid game. I just don't think it quite deserves the, oh my god, this is the best game ever type hype that this is getting. You know, it is getting hyped up to insane levels here. But some of that's down to very good marketing by the Sinister Fish game publishers. You know, they've really put a lot of this on Facebook and that. You know, they've put in a good effort. So all in all, it's a solid drafting and tableau building game. 1 to 5 players, 45 minutes, maybe an hour tops with 5 players. To be honest, I don't want to play this with 5 players. I'd rather only play it with a max of 3. But, you know, like I say, more players means more interaction with paying the gold to various people. So it's a solid engine builder. Not the best one ever, but it's a decent attempt. And I'm going to hang on to it in my collection. I think it's pretty solid. I'd give this about an 8. 8 out of 10. It's definitely worth trying out if you haven't already. If you've got the Kickstarter version, it might be slightly more blinged out, but you know, I'm not giving it like loads of extra points just because of 1 or 2 Kickstarter editions. And frankly, like I said, the mini expansions, I couldn't really care less if I never used them. They're not particularly worth your time. If you haven't got them, don't feel like, oh, I must own them or it's incomplete. No. The base game and the solo mode is what you need. So that's Villagers. Video's overrun a little bit, I am sorry, but like I say, there was a bit more to talk about than I thought. So, Villagers, solid little drafting game from Sinister Fish Games. Take care, and just, remember, you're paying my villager, alright? Okay? Not yours, mine. But at least remember, it's still only a game. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video, guys.